Peace, peace, and many blessings to you. It is your girl Sunshine, and it is Shine Vibrations. Appreciate y'all that tuned in last week to our replay, our couples of the arts. When I tell you the king and queen, I love them so much, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to introduce them to the crew. Um, so just a little recap. Sunshine Vibrations. I'm co-hosting open mics at Pizza Twist on Dorita Road in Concord. Thursday nights, open mic starts at 7:30 to 9 p.m. And you guys know how to contact me if you want to text or call. The number is 704-665-7713. And as I was mentioning to tonight's guest, pardon me. It's almost back to school here, so now you getting all the last minute phone calls, the dial, the what do you call them, the robocalls from the school system. So my phone keeps going off. But September 30th will be 1 year anniversary that Shine Vibrations podcast has been in effect, and I am teaming up with a dope poet and a good friend of the family, Capri Rich. He has the Rich Lounge. Um, this where I am trying to reach out to some of my past guests to see if they would like to turn this into not just a celebration, but possibly an annual slam as well to commemorate the event. So this is what the venue looks like. And that will be a Saturday, September 30th. And I will be posting up flyers and, regular social media contacts and stuff like that for y'all to know. So I am excited about tonight's guest. Y'all know sometimes I will go ahead and I will spit a poem, but I really want to get into this brother and I could fit mine in somewhere into the interview. But this brother, I should have asked him first what he want to go by, but I like the fact that the nickname he goes by. When I read it, I could just hear how some people might holler at him on the street if they know him, from his talented works. But Clarence Barbie is a multi-talented individual known for his literary achievements. This is where I want to put AKA Nebraska, because that's how I saw it in quotations. As the author of two distinct works, Chicken Soup and A Shot of Jack, and his debut poetry, Fire, Molten, and Ash, he showcases his versatility and creativity. With a background as a spoken word artist, he has mastered the art of weaving words into evocative pieces that resonate with emotions. He was known for traveling the southeastern U.S. under the stage name Nebraska, currently serving as an educator in the Denver area. Clarence continues to inspire and shape young minds. He's also a pretty great girl dad. Oh, I felt that one right there. Who says black men aren't present? Okay. His passion for writing remains unwavering as he diligently works on new ventures, including upcoming books, short stories, and poetry collections, further solidifying his place in the literary word. So, just to show you this brother real quick, when I tell you, I can't wait to interview him because this one particular short story stuck out in this book. And it was everything that I knew it was going to be, because we all got to be from the same tribe somehow. Because for those of us to grow up in different spaces across the United States and abroad and still have the same household or similar household experiences with the same lessons in the end, that's either that or that's just the melanin coded that we just have, and that just proves how powerful we are. Um, but without further ado, let me bring this brother back from the green room. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, peace, peace. What's good, Shine? What's good?
What's up? What's up? Um, before I know what you heard me bring up, but before we even get to that one, because I even read it, and my brother was like, "Yo, like I felt that. That was me." And I'm like, "For real, bro, that was in yeah, that was me."
Right.
So, um, in your bio, are you from the Denver area?
I am not.
Okay, where are
I'm
you originally from?
yeah, OG North Side, Omaha, Nebraska. The spot where Malcolm was born,
Okay,
so we definitely always give homage to brother Malcolm.
that's right.
But yeah, and just and I came out to Denver. This is like year 12,
Okay,
13, somewhere around in there. You know, we were in Omaha and we was like, you know what, we got to go. This ain't whatever this is. It ain't working.
it ain't working.
It ain't working. And I had always lived on the East Coast, and I was like, you know what, I've never gone west. So with no license, bad tags, pedometer don't work. We hop in the Buick, baby, and we
Let's
like
go.
we out. Where are you going? We going west. That's it. We just going
Okay.
west. You know.
Mm.
And I crash landed in Denver, and the car was like, "Nigga, this is it. This is it. This all we got, brother. This is it. This is as
This
far as
is
your ass.
it.
This is as far as I'm taking you." So I
Till the
was like,
wheels fell off, and
right,
that's how you got. That is, hey,
you know.
that's dope. So, have you always been a poet?
Um, I think so.
Okay.
When I say always, now that I'm a dad, I'm like from birth, out the womb.
Mm.
um,
You know where I'm going with this
right,
question
I
because I know
do.
who. Because see, I know who I'm interviewing. So
Yeah,
this is why I asked it just the way that I did, without
yeah.
any explanation, because I knew you'd catch it.
Okay. But yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I remember my eighth grade teacher, Miss Mobley. Um, and we all know that we got those teachers, especially those of us, that grew up in that era when you walked into that building and did none of them teachers look like you except for maybe one or two,
That's right.
you know. And
Mhm.
Miss Mobley would pull us to the side and be like, young men, 12, 13 years old, and I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s.
Mhm.
So we're talking about that time frame, and she's like, young men, I'm gonna need y'all to pull up y'all's pants so that everybody here don't think that we all crazy.
Mhm.
And we like, yes, ma'am. And
That's right.
it was that kind of guidance that I had throughout my day. So when this woman asked, she didn't ask me, she challenged me.
Mm.
At 12, 13, it's like, I
I like
bet you can't write a poem about Dr. King for this contest,
that. Mm.
young Clarence. You challenging me, Miss Mobley? I'm saying,
Mm.
I bet you can't do this.
Mm.
And when you're 12, 13, you like, I got you. Bring it. Let's do this. So the challenge was accepted. And I remember writing a poem called Survive on Hate.
Mm.
And it tied for first place, and ended up getting published in the newspaper. And from there, it was like, you are good at this. You can do this. You can
Mhm.
succeed. Let me just show you a little glimmer of light,
That's
and then
right.
I'm gonna let you go from there. And ever since then, anything that I've published, recorded, anything else like that, always sent to Mother Mobley. Like, here you go. This is what you helped create. So Anytime I did a CD, boom. Anytime I did like a show, here's a flyer. Let you know that that spark that you created many, many, many years ago, the flame is burning strong.
That is dope. Now that's dope. Like I had a teacher that noticed that I wrote poetry, but really what pushed was my great aunt. This is my grandfather's aunt.
Okay.
Her I talk about certain people for a reason, just like you, because we have to keep telling these type of stories so people start to reminisce, and be like, oh yeah, maybe if I start getting back to doing that, maybe
Right.
that'll help turn the tide of what we're dealing with. And really, that's all we need to do is, just as much as negativity is infectious, positivity, love can
Yes.
be even surmount the amount that negativity brings when people always operate from that level. But
Absolutely.
my Aunt Helen, she grew up during, the civil rights era and stuff like that. So, when you're exposed to people like that, it
Hmm.
does something different to you. They were heavily involved in the community, NAACP, National Council of Negro Women,
Right.
everything that was designed to help us and to remind us of where we came from and where we need to go. They were
Hmm.
part of those establishments. So it all rubbed off. There were some things in life that she learned as I got a little older that she had no knowledge that I was succumb to those things.
Okay.
So she didn't know the words. She didn't have the words, but she had enough in her to
Hmm.
introduce me to Maya Angelou. And I was in about seventh, eighth grade, and
Hmm.
she handed me her original copy of In the Heart of a Woman.
Nice.
So as I'm reading that, and then comparing it to my childhood up until I was 13. Okay, if she can go through these things and be who she, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I always loved her because of her poetry, but you
Hmm.
notice I said she introduced her to me
Yes.
because I knew her poetry, but I didn't know her story.
Right.
And getting to know her story is what was like, okay, so that stuff she went through and it still made her who she is.
Right.
So that don't have to have a stronghold on me. That was
Right.
part of that lesson. So
Hmm.
when I have conversations with her, she, how elders get mystified and
Right.
stuff like that on the phone. But I'd be like, nah, stop with them tears. Like, I'm serious. Like, really, you played a major role in that, because that also ended up being, you know, the catalyst of me having to help myself heal, because
Hmm.
people around you don't know how to,
Right.
or just expect you because you're so strong. They just think you just know how to handle it, and really her doing that made me push writing poetry more, which
Hmm.
made me write more. So everything that I was growing through, the pen and the notepad became my friend. That became my therapy.
Right.
So that leads me to, once you figured that out, that that was your connection, that this was something that you can do, as I just stated with myself, and I see it has made a difference with others. Did poetry ever have to play like a part in you healing from something, or to aid you get through some things?
Um, I feel. I mean, yes, but it's also like that's my friend. That's my girl. Like that's the one where it's like, you know, ain't nobody calling you back. She like, I got you. Like we right here. We right
I
here.
ain't
Like
never left.
right. I ain't gone. Baby, what you talking about? Like we right here. Like, it's a scrap of paper over there. I'm in your ear right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got a broken pencil? Guess what? That tip is still sharp. It's a crayon over there, right, as well. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You at the bar, it's a cocktail napkin right there, brother. I'm gonna need you to get on that cocktail napkin right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna need to sober you up before we get home. I'm gonna need to sober you up a little bit. So
Yep.
right, you know what? Right here, I got you. You know, um, yeah. So I mean, it's that. It is you know, there when everything feels like it's falling apart. You know what I'm saying? It was she was there in Kansas, and I remember like coming here, like I said, with no license, you know, bad tags,
Mm-hmm.
and stopping in Kansas, and it was like, and I remember sitting there like writing one, you know, thanking the universe and the Most High, be like, okay, you got me here. I ain't in jail.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't no lights behind me, you know.
That's
And I
right.
just remember like sitting there, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, we gonna sit here and we gonna write. And it's just one of those things where it is there in good times, it is there in bad. Um, it is there to help the process. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you trying to figure out like what did I do at this part of life to make everything go so bad?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and she right there, and she like, you know, let's I'm gonna help you figure this out.
That's right.
You know, by the time you finish writing me, you're gonna have some things figured out. You know, so yeah, it is, you know, it is that healing thing. But it is also that friend that I'm like, when don't nobody else call, I'm like, it's all good.
Yes, indeed. A lot of folks, wonder like, how do you manage things? Everybody has their breaking point. I have my own as well. And there's times where I will randomly post things that people will not expect to come from me.
Right, right.
But those who know me
Hmm.
know that, oh yeah, I still got some of that left in me. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because you got to keep a little of it to keep you protected from people who may
Absolutely.
think you don't. So it kind of raised up. I had posted like, "Yo, I'm tired of people fucking with me,"
Right.
and that was it.
Hmm.
That was it. That's the post. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I was really at that point. But that's all. You know, I was at.
Yeah.
And then certain people like those who could figure out it wasn't really like a person, like
Right.
really like trying to see me on the street. It wasn't like that. But some people was like, oh yeah, people just gotta take it on the chin sometimes. Yes, we know that. But
Hmm.
this ain't that situation. Even though I could knock a few heads on,
Right.
but this ain't the situation for that really. Like knocking a few heads, like what's that really gonna do? What's that really gonna prove?
Right.
It's only going to fix right there, but then now I got to deal with the repercussions of that. You know what I'm saying? So nah, I don't need that headache. But when I tell you, when you put things out in the universe, I meant what I said behind that post,
Right.
and it got straightened out. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
just that quick. When I finally said, "Look," felt like Bernie Mac. I'm sick of this
Right.
shit. So it was like, but once I really was fed up with it, like
Right.
it just whew,
Yeah.
just like that.
Then it's
So
done.
you know I need to channel that same thing for some other things. Right, Carla? Look, that's my big sis, that's my Suge.
Okay.
Comedian, extraordinaire actress, you know teacher, educator.
Love it.
She got it all. And but yeah, she stay on me. She be knowing she's definitely in tune to. Yup, see, your
Right.
words and
Hmm.
intentions have power.
They do.
Yes, they do. Cause when Shine said she was sick of it, she was sick
Okay. Let it be manifested.
of it. Like quick.
Right.
Cause the things are when they affect me, that's one thing. But I have two young kings.
Right.
I'm not beat.
Right.
I will protect them at all costs.
Hmm.
They think watching the Discovery Channel and seeing them lioness go for theirs, they
Right.
didn't meet me yet.
Okay.
And my sons know this. Like, you don't want my mommy coming up here. Like there was a situation my youngest has to go start at a whole nother school.
Mm,
And but I could do what I got to get him back to the school he's been going to since kindergarten.
mm-hmm.
But he literally said, you know what, Uma, you fought enough. It's okay. I could do the new school.
Right.
And he 9. So that made me feel good because that means that I am, like Carla said, your words have power. So I'm pouring into them and they're believing it and they
Yep.
walking in it and they have the confidence in it. So that
Mm-hmm.
right there made me feel like, all right, we got this. Because I was ready to go to war for my son.
Right.
Really was. When it comes to the stability of children, but especially black children, especially black males, they don't really get that.
Right.
So if it was not going to be a understanding for him and
Mm-hmm.
him comfortable with it, I was not about to make him uncomfortable.
Right.
So, every parent don't got it in them to do that. I'm not knocking nobody, just a little disclaimer. I'm not knocking nobody, but the same elder I was speaking on, her,
Right.
my great grandmother, Eolyn Cromwell, my aunt Yaya, Azalea Bellinger, they were present
Right.
and they was there to the point that everybody was calling like Aunt Yaya. Everybody, she was Aunt Yaya to everybody. Aunt
Mm-hmm.
Helen was Aunt Helen to everybody because they were present and they were in the school so much. So yeah, that's all I know how to do
Right.
because that's what I was shown. So I can't expect for you to do what you wasn't shown, but still allow yourself to be taught.
Very true.
And that is just the part right there where we don't get it all together. Um, but that's leading me up to this one particular short story. You just had to be grown. When I tell you, you just had to be grown, mm, that touched me. It didn't happen to me, but
Mm-hmm.
I watched it happen to
Right.
somebody. And my brother Tariq said that literally happened to him. He
Mm-hmm.
remembers, the whole thing like you was really bringing back as I was reading it out loud. Everything was coming back. He was like in a trance. So, oh man, well, I read it.
Mm-hmm.
So, speak about which book it's in and give a
Mm-hmm.
summary. Because your reaction to me pulling this one out must be one of the hot topics.
Oh man, I love writing that story so damn much. And I love like writing that book so much because it was at a time in my life where like I needed something different.
Mhm.
And it's chicken soup and a shot of Jack. Literally, when I was writing this book, I had got my second DUI here in
Mhm.
Denver. I was going to the DUI like classes that they have you going to,
Mhm.
and they're like, what are you doing to stay sober? And I was like, fuck y'all, I'm writing a book. And everybody kind of looked at me like for real. And I was like no,
Yeah.
like for real, I'm writing a book. Like you're gonna ask me how I'm going to stay sober. I am going to write a book. You know, um, and like just this story, like in particular, like like I remember sitting there in my kitchen, living by myself, and I was frying chicken, and this whole memory thought kind of came up to me, and I remember turning off the eye. I didn't take my chicken out the grease, and this is how like I was into it. I just turned off the eye because I didn't want to burn up my chickens. That was the only chicken I had. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fuck this chicken up, but I ain't gonna burn it up. I'm gonna eat it later. you know. And I stopped frying my chicken and I just started writing, just had to be grown. Because like that's what it was. Like mama was gone at that point, daddy was gone at that point.
Mhm.
This is DUI number two. Like at this point, like you are grown
Mm.
and ain't no safety net. Like if you
Mm.
don't do what these folks tell you to do and they tell you they're gonna put your ass in jail, like it ain't no safety net, bro. Like this is real life. So your last homage, as in this is what it is.
Mm.
And that came out, from that. That's why I said, like, writing Chicken Soup and a Shot of Jack, like that was a process for me. That was like therapy. Like the poetry
Mm.
that's in that book, the essays that's in that book. I remember going to coffee shops on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because those are my off days, and getting up in the morning, and it was a coffee shop here in Denver that's no longer here, called Urban Grind, and they had like used furniture in there, and like you could go in there and you could just chill, you could go out back and you could smoke, and you could talk to people. And I remember like just sitting there, and like I had my laptop and I was just typing out. Like they would see me every Tuesday and Wednesday. I was like, they're like, "Oh, you back again?" I was like, "Yeah, working on the book, absolutely."
Mm.
And it was that kind of thing. And it's like like Chicken Soup and a Shot of Jack. It was like, yeah, like, you drink? I was like, not right now. But in about 4 months, give me about 4 more months, and we'll have a different conversation, you know. But yeah, like that story in particular, um, it was one of the things that's like the storyteller in me was like, let that go, let that out.
Mm. Yeah.
Like you've performed, you spit on stage, you tell stories in such a different way. Let this story come about in this kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
you know
Okay.
and that was like the first time that like I was able to do like a short story where I was just kind of like, oh, that's what this feels like, that's what this is.
Mm.
I was like, okay. you know and it's like, just like a lot of times as writers we'll visualize stuff as we're writing it,
That's right. That's
right?
right.
you know
Look, see you. Look, that's another question. And
right,
you got to answer it. So there you
okay,
go.
right. And I mean, this one was like, it was, it was so strong. Like I could just, I could see the mom sitting there in the rocking chair with the pork chops, you know, not saying a word, got her, her coffee mug. You're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, you ain't got to have none. It's all good. I'm gonna eat this last pork chop. You ain't got to have none, you know?
When I tell you, and I read it just like that, like I was in it, like I was doing the monologue, and it was
Right,
so funny because now listening to you, I did it, which goes back to what I said. We
right.
all from the same tribe somehow, or the
Yes.
melanin is just that strong and powerful that we
Okay.
really have the same thoughts. Like
Yes.
people don't see it like that, but in a way, it sort of kind of is. We share the
Yeah.
same experiences. It's just the deliverer, the messenger, or the
Right.
situation is just a little different. It's
That's
tweaked.
it.
But man, oh, when I say reading that was just oh, because it made me think back to my nana, my grandfather's mother, which is my mother's grandmother.
Okay.
She, because when my mom transitioned early, that's after being bounced around, that's who I ultimately ended up living with up
Mhm.
until I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
And no disrespect to the elders, because like I said, I got a lot of how I learned how to move in this world being at they foot,
Right.
okay, listening and observing, and I was able to get out a lot of shit
Right.
because of that. So I'm grateful for that.
Mhm.
Um, but when I tell you, it took me back to where old folks turned me off to oatmeal.
Mm.
Okay. If you have ever experienced eating cereal
Mm.
and it might have been a roach that was in the
Mm.
cereal box and ends up in your cereal,
Mhm.
you become a little cautious of what goes in your bowls, right?
Right.
So I ain't pointing and naming no folks, but some of the elders in my family, they oatmeal, they would add raisins
Mm,
and all this, and it would just no.
right.
Because I don't know if that's because you got that out the cabinet. And I know
Right.
sometimes, and not saying that they had them, but when you've already experienced something, the trauma from it is still
Right.
there,
You,
especially for a child.
that line of sight is too easy to find.
Yep. So I'm like, I ain't eating nobody oatmeal. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Man, my nana, when I tell you, it got to the point that she wanted to force feed that shit down my throat. I sat there. I'm like, look, just like you. I ain't eating that pork chop.
Right.
I'm not eating this oatmeal, bro. Like
Right.
I'm not. And I
Okay.
sat there, and my two older cousins, they just kept dipping back and forth, laughing. Ooh, she gonna get in trouble. And I'm sitting there like, bro, I'm not eating this, yo.
Okay.
I'll eat anything else, but you're not gonna get me to eat this.
Right.
And when she seen that I was dead ass, she came to the and scoped it and with the shove it in my mouth.
Mm.
I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Right.
Now, my nana, and I just recognized this. Now, my father was a very tall man,
Mhm.
very big dude. Now, my grandfather, her son, was big as well. So
Okay.
I kind of got that from both sides because my mom took on the petite side like my nana.
Okay.
Now, for as big as my grandfather was, my nana had to have some hands, okay? And I heard she was no joke. But I'm recognizing with the nails, these is my natural nails.
Right.
And I don't file them, I don't do nothing.
Damn.
My hands look like hers.
Mm.
I specifically remember when she transitioned and watching the sisters around her prepare her casket. And her, they didn't have them people. No, they
Right.
got a sister together. They tightened her up. They was filing and painting my nana's nails. So when I went like this to look at my nails, immediate flashback. Boom.
Wow.
Right back to that. And I said, I got my nana's hands. Damn, wow. Like that's crazy. So, them hands
Okay.
was rough. And she was a petite woman. And they hit like hammers.
Right.
Okay. When I say like hammers.
Right.
So imagine the force between somebody snatching your nose closed.
Right.
Oh, you gonna close your mouth?
Mhm.
I'm gonna make sure
Right.
you open it.
But I know some ways.
She knows some ways,
Right.
but boy, I tell you, I was just a little bit more craftier.
Right.
You see, sis got a gap.
Okay.
When I finally had,
Oh. That's a long sound. Got no sound. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I got no sound right now. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. I cannot hear you though. All right, maybe that did it. 'Cause I still ain't getting nothing. This is weird. Okay.
SOE. Hey, hey, look. You done put some things that's heavy on my soul. So heavy I can't carry it, I lose control. Whoa, 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 whoa. Balance. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. I'm back at it. I'm about to pull a big flex out. City boy chillin' with my chest out. Dust off my shoulders, I'm the best out. I'm a romantic bitch, never let her out. I'm about to act a donkey. Only if it want it. So let it until the morning. Shawty wanna take a ride on my pony. Ayy, what do we have here today? Shawty, you eatin', time to percolate. Put on your birthday suit, I like it. Something I can grab onto, yeah. I'm on, take it out, then you go up and I'll take it out on you, yeah. Where you tryna go? Just say the word and let me know. I show you things that you never seen before. Just don't cross that line, I'll leave you behind disrespectfully. You done put some things that's heavy on my soul. So heavy I can't carry it, I lose control. Whoa, 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 whoa. Balance. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. I'm back at it. Fresh, particular day. Fucking with a real who out. Too clean, gotta slide on the bitch. Just try to keep dreaming, make a wish. I know you want it, babe. Hurry before it's too late. Don't keep me waiting now. Don't keep me waiting now. You gon' pull up, do what I say so. 50 shades of romance, you never let it go. This what you wanted, right? No backing out tonight. This what you asked for. Don't worry, I plan to give you more. Where you tryna go? Just say the word and let me know. I show you things that you never seen before. Just don't cross that line, I'll leave you behind disrespectfully. You done put some things that's heavy on my soul. So heavy I can't carry it, I lose control. Whoa, 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 whoa. Balance. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. I'm back at it.
I still can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm coming through. Let's see. Still ain't got nothing. This is weird. Because I was jamming with that music. I'm telling you right now. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Yeah, I ain't getting no sound on this side. I ain't getting nothing. It's like a really beautiful silent movie right now.
Okay, how about now?
Ooh, now I got you.
And all I did was turn my head, so I don't know what the hell that is. That's crazy.
It is.
Because I'm like, I hear you the whole time. So let me try this again. Hey, there goes Sharita Dela Cruz.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and she's under hers. Normally it would be esoteric entertainment. I gotta shout you out.
Okay.
Okay. But the Blast Artist of the Week was sponsored by Lee Law Firm. If you are in the Dallas and the Fort Worth area and need legal assistance, go to Facebook and look them up. And that is the Lee Law Firm. Now, the Blast Artist of the Week, if you are an independent artist and you are looking to get your art out there, even a comedian, spoken word poet, go to blast247.com and register for the FREE. But hold on. Blast music isn't just for artists, it's also for fans. So if you love great music and you like what you heard tonight and want to hear hundreds of more artists who was willing to share their music with you, then go ahead and you also can register for the what? FREE, and that's blastmusic247.com. Changing the industry one artist at a time. So now we was talking about my nana, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I was saying, before the sound went, she held my nose until the point that I had to open my mouth to breathe. But I got a gap.
Right.
So I let the air out through my gap, bruh. And she was mad because when that spoon clicked my damn teeth, she said, "Get your ass up. Go upstairs. Get out my face." Boy, and when I tell you, like, you took me so many places just with that one short story. And then a lot of times when we reflect, you don't even realize or recognize that you might have needed that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like when I rehashed it as I was reading it, it like it gave me something at the same token. You know what I'm saying? Like it gave me like that part where her energy might have revisited me because I
Mm-hmm.
started, reminiscing. So like after I was done reading it, I was left smiling. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely did a good job with that one.
Well,
Cause
I'm thankful. I'm glad because that's the thing is that's what some of our stories are supposed to do. It teaches you some lessons is hard and then some lessons is like what that wasn't so hard, but I got it. I got it. You know.
mhm. So now the poetry. I know you have some to share, correct?
Oh yes, yes.
So,
Um.
as I said backstage, you take us where you want us to go. So, I don't have any requests.
Okay.
Whatever you choose to display is all on you.
Okay. Um. We're gonna stick with the theme of kind of the shot of Jack. This one didn't make it into the book. Probably should have. Um. It's just called the alcoholic. Alcoholism became my religion the day that PBS tradition ended. You see, I was sent to schools to see them scrolls that suited hands had wrote, but all I learned was the boat, so I took a sip. Big shots of Bacardi showered my insides for hours as hot beads of sweat began to form. I got to rapidly racing. Big Bird, Ernie, the Count, and those letter people. Black letters on white pages, rhyme on prose. There was something about civilization. There was something about colonization that created this cold. And in my hand, I did so hold this glass. And to my lips passed that fine ass woman, gin. And boy, did I begin to sin. I got real greedy and tried to gulp her, but she came back up like Miss Piggy or Kermit the Frog on stage. My mental became enraged when I learned about this cage society. Now, y'all know it treats me unfairly, so I lived off of things like TV and Sesame Street. This poem was brought to you today by the letters E and J. Because I had irked and jerked on junkies and economic flunkies that enveloped educational degrees. But their degrees, MAs, PhDs, meant nothing compared to the heat that my religion had brought to me. Oh, I was shaken and stirred. I had sudden words with Susan and Grover. But then the vodka verified the road to relief as I got on that ripple. Girl, I was having simple, pimple popping conversations with my guy, Mr. Rogers. And wanted to be neighborly, I asked him to have a seat and drink with me. So we sipped on long, Strong Island iced teas till the sunset. Then that moon rose. Next thing you know, I'm getting tested on how plants grow. 6H2O plus 6CO2 makes C6H12O6. Man, that shit is sick. I needed to go flask by age 16, but then my liver pulled a trick. And under the spell of sobriety, the doctor looked at me and he said, boy, what you doing with your life? I looked that man square in the eye and I told him, the only thing that I know is right. You see, TV is telling me that I'm entertainment in black, FACE. Education, well, it's making the nation think that I'm slow. And religion is hating on fast living and sinning and women with easy access to wetness. So tell me that I'm blessed when my chest is stretched from the hog maws and drinking. Hell, all this thinking got my head on blast. So excuse me if SPB and these intoxicating drinks put me at ease. If you please, you can get on your knees and you can pray for me because I'm not going to stop, Doc. It doesn't matter if this one black man just drops. These eyes are going to remain. These eyes are going to remain. These eyes are going to remain bloodshot. The best thing you can do for me is get me a Henny on the rocks because I have not prayed today. Alcoholism became my religion the day that PBS tradition ended.
Mm, mm, mm. It's always good when you can hear it. You know, I don't take away from reading, but when you can hear it and the intent behind it comes out, and again, it reflects. There were some folks in the family that had the bottle a little too much,
Right.
did some things behind having the bottle too much, but that, yeah, yeah. You might have saved a couple of lives if they heard that one.
Right.
Cause that one that was fire. And I loved how you tied in our childhood with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was fire. That was fire. That's definitely what's up. How many how many times have you had people question you or just say, hey, this piece touched me or it opened my eyes to something?
And I've had that happen a couple times, and it's always one of those experiences where, you either don't know how to take it or like with me, I remember like the first time that happened, like it scared me, because, and I remember a brother and I did like that piece at a bar late at night. And I happened to not be drinking that night. And I was just kind of like, I just want to get this off my chest. And I didn't even realize brother was like paying attention to it.
Mm.
And we had like a conversation, and, dude had just been like drinking, like for the last several months. He had just lost his favorite aunt, and he was like, I don't know how to get back out of here. I don't know how to get out of this bar. I don't know how to get out of this situation. And he was like listening to you tonight helped. He said, do me a favor. Tomorrow, come back here and make sure I'm not here.
Mm.
And I did. The next night, I returned. And brother wasn't there.
Mm.
And I don't know whether I was more scared of when he's talking to me and telling me about like his life and how this poem has changed him, or like the next night when I came there and I was like dude's really not here.
Mm.
It's one of those things where you're like,
so why is he not here? Did something happen the night before? Like it takes you through different changes,
yes,
but you have to, rely on the conversation from the night before.
right.
You know what I'm saying? For clarity. And you have to leave it where it is. Did you ever get a chance to cross paths with him?
I didn't, because I didn't go back there probably for about 4 or 5 years because I was like, dude, like
So
the
after
publication.
that, that was too much. You
Yeah,
was
I
like,
was
"Nah,
just
I'm
kinda
good."
like, yo,
Oh,
it's like,
so guess what? That means it was also for you too,
yeah,
because he kept you away from the bar.
right, you know,
You see how that works?
yes,
That yeah. As much as it was for him, it was definitely for you.
right,
And if we all start to see those messages like that, what I'm saying, a lot of things that we are experiencing and growing through won't be so hard for a lot of us, you
yeah.
know. You got another? Got another?
Um, I do. I can. I was actually looking at some of the poetry in Fire, Molten, and Ash.
Uh-huh.
Because Fire, Molten, and Ash too. Like writing that, it's a big story behind that too. Like I'm no longer with the mother of my children, and I remember starting to write this book as that relationship began to sour. So it's
Wow, because I was gonna ask about the title.
yeah,
So there it is.
yeah, and
Mm.
things burn down, you know, and you are left with ashes. But that's the thing about fire and ash is that from all of that you are able to be reborn. You are still able to be. You are able to rebuild things. You are able to see
Build
things.
and destroyed in order
Yes,
to be rebuilt.
in a much different light. With maybe a little bit more clarity. Like what, that wasn't the best thing for you. You know what, you live past something. You know what, not the greatest situation.
Mm-hmm.
Something beautiful did come out of that situation. However, certain other aspects of it had to get burned down so you can still be reborn.
That's right.
You know. So this one is reverences evaluation. Adaptive, but not quite chameleon status. The apparatus of the complete self is still under construction. Engaged new days with doubt and uncertainty, almost viewed it as a penalty, bruh, that fumble needed to be handled much more efficiently. Accept certain circumstances like step one, God grant me the serenity,
Mm.
then move forward. Navigate your lane better. There will always be rough roads and room for improvement. Even though you get props for pumping your brakes and making sure a future family was safe, you still need to navigate your lane better. Say word. Word is bond. Speak real words into existence like, I love you. I love you. Dad loves you. Speak belief into their soul so deep that 10 toes on feet will embrace new adventures and never fear the soil they walk upon. Never fear the sea they will kick in. Never fear the sky those toes will glide in. Speak belief. Have no fear. You are adaptive, but not quite chameleon status, yet will stay tuned for the cultivation of circumstances.
Mm. Yo, you, yeah. I would really, really enjoy seeing you in public, but not only that, um, there are a lot of events that I'm starting to see. Um, sh- Even some of the people that I am connected to, whether I know personally or through our extensions, but there are more events now I'm seeing are more focused on the brothers. And what you have done with that piece in particular would definitely be something that I can see being performed at one of those venues, as the creative therapy portion of, those events, because some of y'all still learning how to deal with your emotions too, and they relate it to music or to something that they overheard. So yeah, if you ever would get the opportunity to do that, I would say definitely do so. Like, you could be a conduit for so much more, bringing more healing to brothers, just from what I've read. So if I can see that from what you've already put to paper, if you not marketing yourself that way, brother, you need to start.
And that's the thing is, I know that we have all gone through something. You know, we have to figure out how to get to the other side because some of us are still, in the middle of that.
That's right.
You know, and we got to help each other out. Like, and I remember one of your guests was saying, you're like a fireman that keeps going back in, you know, for those extra people, those people, that's still in the fire. And he's like, hey, come on, come on, come on.
That's
I'm,
right.
I'm still grabbing you, you know. And I think that we all have to do that,
That's
in our
right.
own ways,
That's
and
right.
I have a lot of brothers that I reach out to in prison, and I've given some
hmm
books to a lot of brothers in prison because I
That's
was like,
that poem I like. I
mm-hmm,
like, and I want you to know, I will be extending another invitation to you because a friend of mine came up with the concept of me showcasing, like doing a segment. But when I spoke to one of my producers, he was like, "No, that's another podcast," and already came up with the term "bars from behind bars."
right,
So when I came across that poem, oh yeah, I put a pin. So I'm coming back to you when that really starts getting jumping off. Yeah,
okay,
I'm coming back to you for that.
I'll be right here. I will be right here.
Um,
Okay,
I said, look at this. I said, oh, and I just was saying, okay, I need to get some more people lined up so I can really see how we're going to do that. And then when I opened up, I said, okay, let me finish doing this too, because I'll be doing a lot of multitasking. And when I came across that one, I said, up, look at there. There go another name right there. Boom, boom, boom. So I appreciate you for sharing those with me because, like, it definitely gets to see you from different lights. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
know how it is with artists, no matter what scope you're in, people like to box you in and
right,
only think that this is all you can do and you can't
yeah,
do more or you can't do outside of what I like of
right.
you. You know what I'm saying? But your writings definitely show you don't give a fuck. You're gonna do what you do regardless.
I,
And that's the beauty of art.
right. you know, like you can love me, you can hate me, you know, you know. My thing is just listen, just take a
That's
listen.
it.
You know, like you ain't got to like everything. You ain't got to have none. Okay,
You
it's
ain't got to have none.
good. It's all good.
You know what? That's a t-shirt.
Right.
That's the t-shirt. I'm so serious.
Mhm.
That's a t-shirt. That's your mama saying you need to go on and trademark that and go on and
Right.
get it popping. That yeah, because you ain't got to
Okay.
have none.
Right.
That's right. That's right. That is yeah. See now I'm gonna be using. I be telling my sons like, yo, really, where's more? You ain't got to eat it.
Right.
But now, oh, you ain't got to have none. I'm switching it up. I'm
Right.
using that. Shout out to your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely, I am going to start using that one because I like it.
Yeah.
I like how because I just knew the energy behind it.
Right.
So and when, like I said, once you spoke on it, oh yeah, I like this. I like this. So yeah, it's gonna get used around here. So before we go, let the people know how to find you. I found them on Instagram, but
Right.
just let them know how to find you, how to reach out to you, contact you. If you have up and coming projects or events, this your time to share all of that.
All right. I am on Instagram under. Actually, I got two Instagrams. I'm under author Clarence Barbie. So it's just like my name on the screen right there, with the author in front of it. And I am also on Twitter under author Clarence Barbie and at former 402 poet, which is anybody that doesn't know, 402 is that Omaha area code. So
Mhm.
that's that connection. I also have my website where you guys can find my books. I write books.yolasite.com. And then also, um, like the white woman told me years ago, I Googled you and all of this stuff came up, sir. So, yeah, do like the white folks and just Google me, okay?
Google me. Wasn't
Google
that a
me.
song? Google me.
Right. Google me. Like all of my books are on Amazon. I have the ebooks as well as paper copies. All of that is available through Amazon. If you email me, hit me up, I will send you a book directly. I will sign it for you. I will put a love note in there for you. Um, you know, um, if that's what you need, that's what you'll get. Like I said, I'm personable. I hope
That's
y'all know
what's
that
up.
and can kind of see that by now. I'm approachable. Um, you know, bring the love, keep the hate, and together we're gonna move forward.
All right, give that email address.
Yes, it is C Barbie, C as in cat, B as in boy, ARBEE. My name, C Barbie, numbers 203 at gmail.com.
Y'all heard that. And Sharita Dela Cruz said, great show.
Thank you.
That's another mentor and big sis,
Okay.
so she been in the game for years.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Definitely we'll be in touch.
definitely.
Appreciate y'all. Stay tuned for, the Shine Vibrations 1 year celebration. Like I said, hint, hint, anybody want to come travel, get at me, let me know and see what kind of deals we can work out with the hotels and we can make it a weekend. So, again, this is Shine Vibrations. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And anything else you want to say? Any shout outs? I feel like it's at least somebody you need to shout out. I don't
Um,
know why.
I feel like I need to shout out you and tell you thank you for allowing me to come on this show.
I didn't mean me.
I know,
I
I
didn't
know,
mean me.
I know. But no, I mean, and I've had a fantastic time tonight. I mean, just shout out to the ancestors. Shout out to Miss Mobley and my mom and dad looking down on me right now. Um, shout out to my number one and my number two, 4 and 6, Bean and Sprout. They know who they are. Much love to those
See
two
the
kids
girl
right there.
dad. See, I knew it was somebody you needed to shout out. Like,
Mhm.
Daddy, you ain't shout me out.
Right,
See, I got y'all, babies. I got y'all.
right.
When y'all watching this, y'all gonna know. And then, yes, this is an ancestral piece that I keep on me too, just so you know. So yeah, the ancestors is definitely around in here this evening. So with that being said, y'all already know how to get at me. Sunshine Vibrations, the writers page on Facebook, Sunshine Vibrations. That's SUN. Look, just like he said, how it was written right there with the 8 for new beginnings. HINE Vibrations and Instagram Queen Shine, TikTok Shine Marley, all that good stuff. I'm getting used to all the other platforms, but I'm still me though. Uh with that being said, y'all be safe. Peace. Uh-oh. It's